Alrighty, folks, welcome along to a brand new Liverpool Football Club podcast called Kop Idol. Now, you may be thinking, do we need another podcast or another content channel all about Liverpool? Well, I think we do. You can never have enough information about the mighty Reds, and we're going to give it a go here. All right, so we specifically created this channel for fans based in Northern Ireland, and we were hoping to launch a number of weeks ago. But given the circumstances around the passing of Diogo Jota, we didn't think that that was being respectful, so we decided to wait. And now that the team's on their pre-season tour, and also the fact that the transfer market is back up and running for the Reds, we thought that this may be a better time for us to start releasing some of the content. So what are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at all sorts of stuff. We're going to be looking at everything to do with the team, everything to do with, the performances, etc. And we're going to have a number of different segments that we're going to focus in on. This particular podcast, we'll only be focusing on one or two of them. But as we get going, we'll have a number of them there. So one of the first ones that we'll look at is based around the actual title of the podcast, which is Kop Idol. And that'll be us picking out who we think has been the best performer over the most recent round of matches. We'll then have the post-match presser, which will be us trying to analyse the match and stuff. Don't be expecting any Alan Hansen stuff here or anyone else in terms of, those deep dives and stuff. This is going to be raw fans, but we're hoping it's going to be intelligent enough for it to make sense. We're not going to have any gibberish and stuff knocking about, even though I'm not doing a great job of that right now, but we are going to try and have a sensible fan reaction to some of the matches. We're also going to be looking at Through Red Lens. Now, Through Red Lens is going to be us looking at the fixtures coming up with an extremely biased point of view about what we'd like to see happening. So obviously we're going to want to see Man United lose every week, but obviously that's not going to be the case. But we're going to look at those fixtures and go, what would actually work best for us as a football club, and be unashamed about the fact that we will cause some results in some ridiculous manner. All right, so we're going to be doing that. We're also going to have a section called New Boots Room. We bit of a take on the whole old Boots Room that used to be, or the old boot room, that used to be there with all the classic managers with Shankly and Paisley, etc. And we're going to be specifically looking at transfers both in and out. Okay, we're also going to have a section called Under the Lights, because obviously when we get back into the Champions League side of things, we're going to want to focus in on those special European nights as well. And then we're also going to have a couple of other sections as well. So there's going to be plenty for us to dive into as part of this particular podcast. So folks, let's get stuck into one of those sections now. Let's pick out for pre-season our current Kop Idol. We've had 3 games now in terms of pre-season. So we had the opener at Preston, which was an emotional match, I have to say. Seeing the tribute to Diogo Jota there. Fair play to Preston for the way that they handled themselves. I thought that was really classy. We had the behind closed doors match against Stoke, which was a bit of a rout for Liverpool. And then we had the most recent match there was against Milan, which was a bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it? So we had that, there was a 4-2 defeat against Milan. But who was it that stood out for us in those 3 matches? And for me, whenever I started to analyse it, there was one person who really stood out for me anyway, across all 3 matches. And that person was Dominik Szoboszlai. All right. So I don't know about you, but I think, Sobo was absolutely playing a blinder in all 3 of those games. Especially in the Preston match. I think, it took a wee while getting in, but I think, his distribution of the ball, was definitely better than it's been in a while. And I know the guy runs endlessly, and that was the case again. He was running endlessly for the time that he was on the pitch. And likewise in the match against Stoke as well. I think, he really kind of highlighted his range of passing and stuff. And I only really seen the extended highlights of that, with it being behind closed doors. Because whenever you looked at the lineup, where he was asked to play, where it looked like he was being positioned, was almost in that right wing back kind of role, but yet he ended up traveling all over the pitch, was very influential. I think he actually, some of his play actually freed up Salah at times in terms of doing things. And then obviously the mass amounts of substitutions meant that he was taken off and stuff as well. And that was the same against AC Milan as well. I think that was a game of two halves, imagine. But you know, the first half, I know what it ended up, it was 1-1 at the end of the first half, and you could see the way Liverpool were wanting to play. I think Florian Wirtz was very, very influential in that first half. But again, I think it was, for me, Szoboszlai was definitely the pick of the bunch there for me. And if he plays like that, and he's given those kind of rules throughout the rest of the season, I think we're going to see the Szoboszlai that we've wanted to see for the last couple of seasons he's been with us. You know, when he first joined us, you know, he was great. He was all over the place. He was making an influence, and he kind of died off towards the end of that. And he had fits and spurts in the title winning season where he was absolutely amazing. And then other times where he kind of was, he just looked like he was absent in terms of that there. So hopefully we're going to see, you know, the Szoboszlai that we really want to see there. So for me, I think that's really promising. It would have been easy to have gone with, you know, Florian Wirtz or maybe even Nunez. I mean, because Nunez in pre-season has been fantastic in terms of, you know, 4 goals or whatever else in those opening 2 games. But as we know, he's probably on his way out of the team. But for me, hopefully you might agree with us. Let me know in the comments or whatever else about that. But I definitely think that for the first 3 games of pre-season, that our Kop Idol, the guy with the best performances, has definitely been, for me, Dominik Szoboszlai. So let's move into the idea of a new boots room, all about new faces coming, and I suppose faces leaving the club as well. Now, I don't know about you, but this transfer window has been an absolute championship manager, football manager, career mode FIFA kind of feel to it, hasn't it? I mean, no one would have thought that Liverpool would be spending the type of money that they're spending. When you think about over the last lot of seasons, one of our major complaints has been as fans is, for goodness sake, FSG, open the checkbook. Now, whenever they've seen people that we really needed, they've been great and they've went for it. But over the last couple of seasons, even though we rebuilt the midfield, you have to say that the spending level is absolutely nowhere near what they have outlaid this season. And for me, when you look at the whole idea of FSG out and stuff, right now, I don't think you can say that, because they are definitely putting the money where the mouth is. So let's look at who's come in. I mean, no surprise, we all know who's come in, but it started with Frimpong. And I think with Trent leaving, I don't think there was a better option for us at right back other than Frimpong. He's the right age, the right price, and I think he's going to do exactly what Arne Slot wants him to do. He is going to bomb up and down that right-hand side of the pitch. And we've seen that already. We've seen his speed in evidence already. And I think that's going to cause defences in the Premier League some serious trouble. The fact that he's got great ball control, he's got a good eye for a cross and a pass, I think he's going to be great. We still need to give him time to settle into the team and stuff, but I definitely think he's going to be a great addition to the squad. On the left-hand side, then we have Milos Kerkez in, and, you know, he's Premier League proven already, and I think he's endearing himself to us as the fan base already. Some of his gung-ho tackles, that head tackle that he made as well, I mean, he's going to be an absolute, you know, great addition. And with Andy Robertson on the decline, I think, you know, given Kerkez's age, this has definitely been the right signing for Liverpool. That then brings us to Wirtz. What can you say about Florian Wirtz? The guy is a generational talent. He is an absolute wonder signing of wonder signings. I mean, you don't absolutely have no qualms about the price that we paid for him. I mean, when you think of we near spent 100 million on Caicedo, are you kidding me? Caicedo isn't even half the player that Wirtz is. Yes, they're different players, But I'm glad we didn't spend the money on Caicedo, and we've actually saved the money there, and we've put it into Florian Wirtz. This guy is going to take this league by storm as long as he stays injury free, which he has done relatively over the last lot of seasons in the Bundesliga. He's been virtually ever present in terms of that, and we need him to be the same for us as well, but we also don't need him burning out either. But what an addition to that is, he's absolutely first class. His ability to hold the ball, take a pass, see a pass, give people space. I think he's going to be an absolute wonder player this season. And I don't think defenses are going to know what to do with him in terms of his movement and his ability to turn the ball and stuff. So absolutely delighted that we've got Florian Wirtz. Who would have thought that he would have even came to Liverpool in the first place? I mean, it was dreamland, whenever we heard this was a possibility. And then you get the here we go and the Ornsteins saying this is happening. And I was like, I was in the kitchen going, I cannot believe this. This is unreal that we have a player of this quality at Liverpool, which just shows you something about the quality of the team and the draw of the team in terms of bringing those players in. We've then also recently seen Hugo Ekitike come in, and you know what? Given his performances in the Bundesliga as well, he is going to cause defenses some problems. See a size of him. I think when you watch one of the videos on the Liverpool FC channel, I think one of the guys in the team said he's massive. He's absolutely humongous. And we've lost a wee bit of height because Frimpong and Kirkes aren't really that tall. But Hugo is 6'2", 6'3", maybe in that 6'4" direction. So having him in the box is going to be absolutely vital for crosses, headers, and he knows how to hold the ball up as well. And he's got pace too. So really delighted to see Hugo in the squad as well. And then obviously we had keepers coming in. There was 3 keepers I think have come in. With Woodman, is it Pesci? And also we'll have Mamardashvili as well. So we're well stocked in the goalkeeping department. Obviously, sad to see Caoimhin Kelleher leave the club. But given the fact that, when you have Alisson there, your opportunity for minutes, aren't always great unless Alisson is injured. We wish Caoimhin all the best in terms of his career in the future. But then we also now have the prospect of Isak coming in. Now, I don't know about you. Whenever I heard this, I was like, no chance. Absolutely no chance. And some of the guys that know me who will go, listen, it's not happening. It's definitely not going to happen. I've kind of switched my stance a wee bit on that now. I think there's a high possibility of that happening. But until we get the pictures of him in a Liverpool kit or whatever else, it's still pie in the sky, folks. But all the evidence seems to point to that he wants to join Liverpool. Liverpool want to make a bid for him, and they're going to do their best to make that happen. And hopefully, if Newcastle can sort out a deal for Sesko, that means that we'll be able to move in and make that bid for Isak. But for me, Isak or centre-back, I think that's where we really need to focus in now. We're looking at needs. I think we really need to make some defensive signings here as well. And we need at least 2 centre-backs. That's my opinion. And Arnie, if you're watching, sign 2 centre-backs. All right. But who are we looking at? So you'll see on the screen, there's 2. Mark Gahey has been linked with the club for quite a period of time. I think it would be absolutely a fantastic addition to the squad. I think he's Premier League proven. His performances last year were absolutely fantastic. And I think he was close to an ever-present for Crystal Palace throughout the season as well. I could be wrong there, but I know it seemed to me he was always in the team and he was always an influence on the team. And then obviously we've also been linked with Hato from Ajax. But I know there are other clubs that are in the mix there for that as well. Either one of these 2 would be absolutely a fantastic addition. I definitely think we need 2 because Joel Matip hasn't been replaced, and with Kwanzaa being sold as well, I think there's a gap there, massive gap. And with Gomez having been sent home injured, his injury record has not been great over the last couple of seasons. When he stays fit, Gomez is a great fit into the squad there and a great replacement for Konate. But I think right now we definitely need reinforcements at centre back. That second half against AC Milan exposed us defensively. Now, it's a preseason game. I get that. Do you know what? And the team, it's all those mass substitutions. It was nowhere near the level of what we had in the first half. But I think we have to be realistic here, folks, and realize there's a massive gap at centre back and we need to sort that out. So hopefully there are a couple of signings in that area. Love to hear who you think we should sign. If we're not going to get Guy, because I know there's some reports that are thinking the Palace might want to play hardball in regards to his signing. And I know Chelsea have been sniffing around Hato. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Hato. Sounds like something out of like a Bruce Lee film there, doesn't it? But either or, we need to get somebody in. So let us know in the comments who you think we should be signing in regards to those centre backs, because I definitely think we're in there. I don't think we're going to see any midfield reinforcements this year in terms of that. If anything, we're maybe looking at a Rodrigo coming in along those lines, or maybe a Fofana coming in regards to that there, but I don't think we're going to see that DM coming in. So I definitely think we've got another season of Gravenberch being run off his feet and Endo coming in at times to, back him up or whatever else, or you're going to see that, that switching around with McAllister as well, because, Endo can play centre back too, and then he can be reasonably solid there at times. But if you're asking me, I wouldn't want them being played there on a regular basis, because that would just reek of the same year after we won the title last time, where there was so many defensive changes. You didn't know who was going to be playing in defence, and we struggled as a result of that. I really do feel that we need to strengthen her. So hopefully the manager and Mr. Hughes can sort that out. Alrighty, folks. So that's the end of this first episode. We're keeping it short and sweet. Hopefully we will keep it short and sweet. Although it can be hard whenever we're talking about the Reds to kind of do that. But for now, that's going to be us done in terms of the content for that. So we're going to have this on YouTube. We're going to have a TikTok channel in terms of doing some shorts there. Hopefully we'll get that up on the Instagram as well. And also we'll put this up on Spotify, hopefully too, in regards to just having lots of different platforms for the podcast to come. So make sure that you give this a like, make sure you give it a comment, make sure you subscribe or do whatever you need to do on whatever platform you're finding us on, because we really want to get this out there and, just contribute to the ongoing quality content that's there about Liverpool Football Club, and just see how how it goes, folks. You know what I mean? And who knows where it will end up. There's lots and lots for us to be talking about. There's always something to be doing when we're talking about Liverpool Football Club. All right. So make sure you stay involved with Kop Idol. And until the next episode, look after yourselves. Take it easy.